Hello. So we are from group 2 and in this opportunity we will explain you about a Russian country which including the culture, value, common stereotypes and much more. The first value, there is a friendship. Russian from very intense, deep and loyal personal friendship. Friendship take up much more space in personal life than in some other culture. And the second one is network. Russian world is separated into insider and outsider. Friends are totally in and are treated with a consideration, caring and loyalty that is unparalleled. And outsider receive very little attention or assistance. And the third is soulfulness. Most Russians believe that an important part of their personal and national identity is a profound capacity for spiritual depth, expressed in many forms: love of nature, religion, and friendship, as well as poetry, art, and music. And the fourth one is fatalism. Most Russians believe that they have very little, if any, control over the course of life events. Younger generations show more ownership over their circumstances in life. And the fifth is perseverance. Russians are famous for and very proud of their ability to endure. The history of invasions, famine, political repression, and gulags, along with legend of survival and perseverance, are a deep part of the Russian psyche. And the sixth is self-reliance. Self-reliance means rejection of the system, bureaucratic, incompetent, or controlling form of problem solving.
Russian's culture has a long and rich cultural history. Russia has a very visual cultural past, from its colorful folk costume to its ornate religious symbols. Here is a brief overview of Russian's custom and cultures. The first is traditional saravan koti. There's a traditional dress of Russians that appeared from the 12th and 13th centuries. This dress has the form of a long linen robe and the sleeves are also long. In ancient times, this saravan was worn by both men and women, but in the 18th centuries, only Russian women wore it. There are three types of saravan sundresses. The first is trapezoidal sundresses, second straight Moscow sundresses, and the last one is the corset sundresses. The second one is shashlik food. In Russia, there is shashlik, which is a typical Russian satay made from pork or beef. Many Russians eat shashlik with vinegar seasoning or gilema juice to get a more delicious taste. The third is Sabantu dance. One of the dance performed by the Tatar people show various kind of everyday scenes. This name Sabantu is the name of the main Tatar holiday, where there is a plough holiday which takes effect in June. Fourth one is Osuhai dance. There is a traditional dance from Russia originating from the Yakutia people called Osuhai. This dance is performed by many people, so it will be very impressive if you have the opportunity to see it in person. There are also some social customs that becomes culture in Russia. The first is Russian culture places a high value on the homeland and on family. The challenges families face under communist left individual highly depend on family support, which oftentimes require the combining of resources to survive. This created a culture that highly values extended family and maintaining close friendship. The other social custom that becomes culture in Russia is the way they do greetings. Russians always greeting by firm handshake with direct eye contact. When female friends meet, they kiss on the cheeks 3 times. And when close male friends meet, they may pat each other on the back and hug. The third one is Russian smile is often performed with the lips not showing the teeth. In Russia, a smile is not a sign of respect and it is not conventional to smile at strangers. The fourth is gift giving to family and close friends on birthday, New Year's or Orthodox Christmas, and also common on the working place. If you are invited to a Russian's home, remove your shoes, bring a small gift. Flower is always a good choice. Russians also believe in several superstitions which are made into habits and eventually becomes a culture. The first is look in the mirror if you had to go back. Second, avoid gifts of sharp objects like knife and scissors. And then don't put money into someone's hands. Don't put empty bottles, key or chains on the table. Don't sit on the table. Don't stand, talk or hand anything across the threshold of a house or apartment, and don't carry an empty bucket. The last but not least, personal space. Russians usually stand very close to each other for conversation or when it's standing in line. It's considered rude to speak loud, so standing close to each other allow you to speak more quietly and privately. Touching, hugging, and kissing friends and close acquaintance is common.
Russia verbal and non-verbal communication. The first verbal. Have a three verbal in Russia. The first direct communication. Russians speak quick, matter-of-factly, and are generally comfortable with directness. For example, they may not hesitate to correct people and can deliver criticism rather honestly, while they may soften their tone when talking about sensitive topics. They usually speak to the point and keep their word conscious. And the second, humor. Russian humor is very sarcastic, dry, and quick direct. It's often self-deprecating. And the last, swearing. It is common for Russians to swear in casual situations. And the second, nonverbal. Have a five nonverbal in Russia. The first, person space. Russia tend to sit and stand quick close to one another. And the second, physical contact. To reach out and touch another person during conversation. Example, an arm around the shoulder or a pat on the back. It's a sign of confidence in the relationship. Expressions. Russia, particularly men, often have a serious form toward strangers that soften once they build familiarity with a person, while they are known to be very animated with friends. Smiles are not often exchanged between strangers on the street. A neck gesture. It is an obscenity to make a fuss with the thumb protruding between the middle finger and index fingers. The symbol for OK, or with the forefinger and the top of the thumb meeting to form O, with the other fingers straight out. Also have offensive connotation. And the last, blessing. It is traditional for Orthodox Christians to make the sign of the cross by using their index and middle finger to touch their forehead, followed by their chest, right shoulder, and left shoulder.
Common stereotypes about Russians. First, Russians are unfriendly, humorless, and never smile. Russians are often thought of as a rumpy, stone-faced, and reserved, simply because they don't smile nearly as much as Indonesians. Visitors to Russia may encounter what seems at the first to be an unsettling strange demeanor. That's simply because most tourists primarily interact with local in a bureaucratic setting like ticket seller, receptionist, train guides, and etc. Design service in Russia typically means being straightforward and formally polite, with no need for meaningless chit-chat. It's not the Russian don't smile, but rather, smiling in Russia has a different purpose. The Russian smile isn't generally a way of expressing friendliness to strangers. Rather, it tends to be reserved for showing affection among loved ones, reaction to something funny. The second, Russian women are extremely beautiful and obsessed with pose and glamour. Russian women are renowned for their beauty, and it's true. Many Russian women possess qualities regarded as classically attractive. High cheekbones, tall, slim figures, voluptuous lip and small and snub nose. But not all Russian women fit the stereotypical Russian bombshell image. With so many different ethnicities with unique physical attributes living across the vast multicultural expanse of Russia. Many Russian ladies have a reputation for being beauty obsessed, never stepping out without wearing the latest fashion, the fine jewelry, and flawless made-up face. And third, it's always winter in Russia. Imagine a typical Russian scene, and there's a good chance you'll conjure up a snow-covered, colorless landscape. Its surfing inhabitants dressed in thick coats and asanka. And the last is Russia's drinks vodka like water and beer is considered a non-alcoholic beverage. Vodka is enormously popular in Russia, a proud symbol of heritage and traditional. Virtual every special occasion will involve pacing around the bottle. Having a glass or two is a more or less expected. However, vodka is generally reserved for celebration. It's almost exclusively enjoyed in social situations and accompanied by food. Just like anywhere, alcoholics is a problem among a substantial of the population. But as the Russian society becomes more health conscious, people are including less in unhealthy drinks habits. There's a one beverage Russia drink with truly enthusiastic frequency. It's a good old-fashioned tea. So that's all about our explanation. We hope that this video will make all of you know more about this country. Thank you. Bye bye.